makes me a good
Hybrid Knight.
If I were a bad
Hybrid Knight.
I wouldn't be sitting here discussing it with you now, would I? Let's do it! Not one of you's gonna survive this! Kablooey!
The Demo Knight. This iconic subclass is a beautiful example of how flexible the TF2 cast can be when they're given the correct unlocks. Switching out your sticky bomb launcher and taking a break from the alcohol can turn you into a charging, screaming, head-stealing maniac. Take away your uncle's beer and he will react the exact same way. The trade-off for this playstyle is losing all of your range and two of the best weapons that the game has to offer. But hidden within the Demo Knight subclass, there lies another subclass. The sub-subclass, Hybrid Knight. This playstyle consists of the stock grenade launcher, the charge and targe, and the Eyelander, which when you put all these together can absolutely transform the Demo Man into a high-damaging, speedy tank class that, when mastered, can absolutely stomp pubs. So without any further ado, let's check out the state of Hybrid Knight in 2023. Now, the reason why we are playing Hybrid Knight instead of Demo Knight is because Demo Knight sacrifices the range that can make Demo Man so deadly in the first place. So being able to land your shots with your grenade launcher is sort of a given with this subclass since that's how you get the most out of your damage. The stock grenade launcher deals 100 damage when landing a direct hit, so if you're able to lay down pipes like a plumber, you will become the king of the server. But do not underestimate the power of rollers. They provide area denial that you lack from dropping the sticky grenade launcher for your shield. And they can even assist you in gaining vertical height, doing a type of sticky jump in a way.
No, that would have been beautiful. That would have been beautiful.
If the stock grenade launcher just isn't your brand of whiskey though, I personally recommend two alternative weapons that you can pick out of the bunch. The Iron Bomber's pills have a 15% smaller blast radius, but they blow up 30% faster than the stock grenade launcher. They also don't bounce or roll nearly as much as the regular grenades do, and this means that you can, in my opinion, more effectively control choke points compared to the stock launcher because you can leave these little traps that are active for a short amount of time. You can also spam them at your feet if you're being chased by somebody to get them off your ass. The other unlock I recommend is the loose cannon. This item gives you complete control over when you detonate your bombs by introducing the fuse mechanic. Holding down left click lets you cook your grenade, allowing you to better time your attacks. This item also has insane knockback, and timing this knockback with the detonation of your bomb allows you to land what's called a double donk, which elevates the loose cannon over the stock grenade launcher in terms of damage. I recommend going to the map TR_walkway to practice hitting your pipes at close, medium, and long ranges with every unlockable weapon to figure out which one works best with you and which one you want to take into battle. Now, once you get comfortable with landing your pipes, it's best to practice getting comfortable with the shields. As we all know, if you take away an alcoholic's bottle, they might be prone to aggression. So if you hand that struggling alcoholic a shield, you get this. Charging is a mechanic that seems rather straightforward, but is nuanced in many ways. Charging will deplete this bar right here, and meleeing during this charge at specific times can yield specific results. The charge is very versatile and can be used as an engage tool as well as a disengage tool. Run out of pipes, charge away. Low on health, charge away. Too many enemies, charge away. A little tip from me, try to keep health and ammo packs within charge distance at all times. In terms of what shield you should be taking, here are your options. My personal favorite is the charge and targe for its incredible resistances. There is one small weakness with this shield in that you just charge in a straight line. I do promise you that it will save your ass way more times than you would believe though. If you're looking for a bit more control in your life, I'd recommend taking the Tide Turner. This is the most popular shield to take whenever you're doing movement tech like Trimping, but it's very useful in its own right. If you thought the charge and targe made you slippery, this thing can get you out of a bad spot so quick, as long as you know the map layout. The drawback to being able to turn the corners like the Drift King himself
Demo Knight.
means that you lose some of your survivability. And here we land on our final shield, the Splendid Screen. The Splendid Screen is like the Charge and Targe in the way that you don't really have much say in where you turn. This shield sends you in a straight line. But it allows you to literally run people over thanks to this ridiculous stat right here. If you find that you're struggling picking which shield you should take, I suggest checking out what classes the enemy team is running. What kinds of damage do they have? Are they running a lot of pyros or are they running a lot of explosive classes? Keeping these resistances in mind allows you to more confidently pick and choose your battles. Here's a little tip though. If you're going against a pyro that is very good at air blasting, he makes you useless. So use your resistances in your shield to escape, not engage. And I'm going to ask you another question real quick. What is a knight without his sword? Moments like these just pump all sorts of chemicals into your brain. Serotonin, dopamine, ketamine, and comethazine. Okay, I'll be honest, sometimes it's a little difficult to get the ball rolling with Hybrid Knight because the Eyelander has this little downside of minus 25 HP to your total health pool. And while this seems pretty painful and punishing at times, you have to remember, as a Hybrid Knight, you have shield resistances. And this sword also introduces a mechanic to Demoman that allows you to collect heads upon getting kills with it. Heads give the Demoman plus 15 max HP and plus 8% movement speed per head. These bonuses stack until you've collected 4 heads, giving you a total of plus 60 HP and plus 32% movement speed. This makes you have 210 total HP or 10 health more than a soldier, and 117% movement speed or 16% less than a scout. This makes you the second tankiest class in the game, and the second fastest class as well. With these stats you get to the origin of the name Hybrid Knight. Well, you might assume that the Hybrid Knight is called what it is due to it being a hybrid of Demo Man and Demo Knight. It is actually because the class, when given the right number of heads, is like the perfect hybrid between the scout and the soldier. So this silly little downside that the Eyelander gives you actually makes a lot of sense, because without the minus 25 HP penalty, this would be sort of broken. So if you want to get good with Hybrid Knight, I suggest learning the best time to pull out the Eyelander.
This did not just happen.
Grow some hair on your face, then come and try me again, lad.
Going after classes that are easily distracted is a good way to collect heads. You should also target low health enemies, as they are usually easy pickings. And if you end up in close quarter combat and the opponent whips out their melee weapon, take the fight. The Eyelander has yet another stat on it that says, quote, "This weapon has a large melee range and deploys and holsters slower. This range buff is a whopping 50% increase, and you can get away with really stupid shit because of it. Not to mention, you can destroy teleporters without having to crouch now." There are some alternatives to the Eyelander that are worth mentioning if you're having trouble getting head.
So no head?
The Scotsman Skull Cutter makes it so that Demoman moves 50% slower with the upside of a 20% damage bonus. Plus, random crits are enabled on this weapon, meaning that you don't need your shield charge to deal critical strike damage. But while dealing all this damage is very exhilarating, the slowness penalty really sucks. It makes the Demoman slightly slower than the soldier, turning him into the second slowest class in the game, if you have the weapon deployed, that is. So abusing the survivability that the charge gives you is a must if you don't want to become a sitting duck. The final sword I want to talk about is the clay. The final sword I want to talk about is the clay. The final sword I want to talk about is the fuck. Claymore. Okay. The final sword I want to talk about is the Claymore. If you enjoy charging around as Demoman, then this weapon is definitely for you. The Claymore increases the duration of your charge by half a second, and upon killing with it, you get 25% of your charge back. Consistently gaining kills with this weapon can make you the most mobile class in the entire game. Literally. You will be able to catch up to anyone, even a maxed out Babyface's Blaster Scout. This sword does have a tremendous downside to it though, as you now take an additional 15% damage from all sources. With the right shield though, you can negate this for the most part, but equipping this sword makes you very vulnerable to bullets, so avoid heavies and scouts as much as possible when using this weapon. These are the 3 loadouts that I prefer the most, but that doesn't mean that you can't mix and match these however you please. If you go with base Hybrid Knight, you need to find the perfect balance between holding choke points and corners with your grenade launcher, as well as landing direct hits in a pinch. If you manage to snag a kill with the Eyelander, you will snowball into an unstoppable tank with endless drive. The loose cannon, the splendid screen, and the Scotsman Skull Cutter turn you into a slow-moving but hard-hitting class that is all about getting boatloads of mileage out of your primary weapon with the power of its double donks. Plus, loose cannon jumping combined with charging makes up for the mobility that you lose from equipping the Skull Cutter, and if anyone is in your way while you're charging, you might just pick up an accidental kill or two thanks to the increased shield bash damage. Finally, the Iron Bomber, the Titan, and the Claymore is all about charging in, getting a kill to refill your charge meter, and if you get spotted, you get right the hell back out. After you escape, you should spam choke points down with your primary fire while you wait for your charge to refill, and then wash, rinse, repeat. In conclusion, Hybrid Knight has a lot of depth to it, and it takes a certain mindset to execute properly. The versatility that resides in this playstyle can make every game feel like a learning experience while also making you feel like a complete badass. You'll figure out very quickly that after you understand the flow of the subclass, you'll become a tanky, slippery powerhouse that has the ability to demolish the entire battlefield in both long and close range combat. If you think that this playstyle interests you, then put down that bottle of alcohol and pick up a sword and get... Hey, thank you for watching the video to the end. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. This video took a really long time to make, so I'd really appreciate it if you liked and told me what you thought about it in the comments below. See you guys in the next one. Peace.